Alright, it's kind of dark in here, but I'll try to explain a little bit.
Where's the light?
Oh yeah, get the light. Where's the light? There it is. Yeah, it helps. Alright, so we jacked it up here, which probably wasn't an amazing idea, but it worked. Been out a little bit, but
We don't use that spot for anything, I don't think.
it's not extremely useful. So it worked for its use for right now. So I jacked it up here, obviously right here, which on the other side, I jacked it up here, which Jacob said would be a better option, so it's stronger there. And the head is on the block there and over there. And we did that to take the tension off the cylinder here. Jacob now has the cylinder off, and he's working on getting the bolts off of there.
Yeah, we gotta pull the cylinder mounts off the axle because there's some framing in the way. Dad thinks there's some framing in the way right here on this side of pulling off the shaft casting on the side of the transmission to get to the clutch. So he thinks we need to get that out of the way. It better be worth it. Of course, after today's gone with the radiator thing, I don't know. There's gonna be 6 bolts I gotta pull to get all that loose. Half of this is welded to the axle, half of it's bolted to what's welded to the axle. Yeah, and I thought we were doing pretty good. Now, unfortunately, you guys didn't get to see when we put new rotor bearings in it. We were trying to do some preventative maintenance there. But obviously that was a good thing, I guess. But we still had the clutch thing happen. Which, I got all new parts last week. It's just been getting time to do this. And it looks like we're going to have stupidly warm weather for the next week. Well, hello. We're finally getting back to the clutch on our TR.70. Right now I'm getting a slam hammer set up to pull the pilot bearing out. Now we had the slam hammer. Unfortunately, one of the tools that we do not have for it is the pilot bearing puller. So I got to get that all set up. Let's see. This was one of the slam hammer came from my my grandpa. Might have been my great grandpa. Depends on how Dad's phrasing that when he tells me the story. But we didn't have the pilot bearing puller for the clutch. So we had to go out and get one of those this morning. Get this all fitted together. I hope that's the same size. It looks close. Oh, come on. Of course, I gotta bounce all the way out here. Unfortunately, you guys ended up missing the best part, and that was getting the clutch assembly apart. I need the vise, but you guys are sitting on the vise. So take a seat back there. Yeah, the workbench is a mess, but we use it. Wish it was cleaner. Oh, the sure isn't coming out of here. I wonder who put the wire wheel on and cleaned this up. There we go. Hoping this isn't too difficult. I had to get a little creative when we got the bell housing off. We used a rope, kind of act as a pulley system. Oh, that close enough. Back to the barn. Okay, guys, we're back here at the TR. Quick little walk back to the barn. Well, that's the flywheel. It's not like an engine flywheel, so it's much thinner, still at least a ½ inch thick. We didn't score up the surface too bad with the old clutch. It's nice and shiny. A few little grooves, a bit of a lip there. Get all close in. Got a little hot because you can see the temperature markings there kind of turning blue. It's gotten warm. Here is the old clutch. And if you can see that, what's left there is just the metal that the ceramic was glued to. So yes, it was definitely worn out. Evidence suggests that this is not the first time this clutch has been replaced. At least the previous owner or owners had replaced it, and I can see there, there's how much ceramic there was. This is a brand new clutch plate. And yeah, how worn the other one is. This is the back side of the clutch pack. We got a new one of these. A new pressure plate. We got a new pressure plate, so we're not reusing this. It doesn't look too bad. It looks a lot better than the flywheel. We thought about maybe trying to find a new flywheel, but I don't know if we're going to find a used one any better. And a new one is probably way out of the budget. Looks like, looks like a bell housing. All nice and dark. I guess I can get a light for you guys. There's probably some clutch fiber. Well, it's the ceramic all around the outside. It's a spline shaft and a throwout bearing. We got a new throwout bearing to put on it. We finally got, you can see it right here. This bracket was on the bottom of the axle. We finally got the two really long bolts right there out to let it down. It was coming up across this top section here, and while we had room to get the bell or the housing for the flywheel to pull out, we still would have had a little interference, we think, with the shaft there. And we didn't remove this little bracket here because by that point we think we could have twisted it. But with that frame arm coming across, we wouldn't have had enough room to twist. Oh, fits right down in there. You gotta spread the little jaws out. It's gotta remember to go the right way. Come on. There we go. Good thing there's enough room underneath. This is really, aren't you spreading? Because I am that far out of adjustment. Wow. Jeez. Wrong. Okay, well, we're touching. Then I get it to move around and spread. Okay, we are tight, and you guys are moving with me now. Well, here goes nothing, hot dog. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. One more, we're almost. Okay, two more. Okay, one more, we got it. That wasn't too bad. I was expecting to really have to work on that. See, when you have the right tools, it's surprisingly how smooth things go. Of course, it's also disappointing, like that was so fast, and I spent so much on that tool. Like, I didn't get enough use out of it. I need to use it more. But I don't feel like taking more clutches apart. At least this is an easy one. I don't have to like split a tractor. Okay, so we are officially at the turnaround point. We start putting things back together, put a new bearing in, align the clutch stuff up, and get going with that. I'm going to figure out, I know where the bearings went. I think they're up in the garage. They were back here with the rest of the clutch parts in a box sitting on top of the hay mower. Well, we're going to see how good the sound quality is, if you guys can hear this. That's kind of a dry bearing there. So we're replacing it. Okay, so what we see there is one of two big problems. There's a crack. And, don't mind the glare, there's another crack. So we got two cracks in the flywheel. And as you can see from the heat marks there being nice and blue, we've overheated it and had some expansion and contraction and caused the cracks in the flywheel. So we're back. It's after dark, obviously. You can tell by the intense shadows everywhere. And we went out and found a used flywheel that doesn't have any cracks in it. It's new to us. And it's the whole get up here. It's the flywheel, the pulley at the end, and this big casting housing here. So we got all that brand new to us, used, and we're going to put our new clutch parts on it, put it back together, and get rolling. So I wasted my time with the pilot bearing puller that was there where those pilot nuts are. So much for having fun new tools. I use them and it didn't mean anything.